Welcome. This is CityLit's first novel writing online course. This is Scott Bradfield. I'll be instructor over the next 11 weeks. I've done some other online teaching before this class. It's been a learning experience for me, so I think I've learned a bit more about what to expect from the course and to tell you what you can expect from the course and how to make the best use of it. And I thought I would just talk about that for a few minutes today. You may have noticed that Liz, our IT guru, or my IT guru at CityLit, has posted a little 6-minute introduction on how to use Moodle. And that's very helpful for those of you, particularly like myself, who may not have known much about online courses 6 months ago. And Liz has been teaching me everything I know, and she's posted a very useful video for you all. I wanted to tell you how the course is going to be structured. Liz talked a bit about it. But there's a few things that I'd like you to think about over the next few weeks. Every Monday I'll post a lecture such as this and a few online, a few discussion forums and an assignment for you all, a couple of assignments, to think about during the week. Now, there's a key to online learning I've discovered from my students in the past. And that is not to feel over and inundated by all these different forums and exercises and so forth that you see coming at you on the page. The only thing I expect from my students is to do some work every day, to write every day, for a few minutes perhaps, or maybe longer if you feel like it, but to get some work done every day. Don't worry if you fall behind. Don't worry if you feel like you can't fill out all the exercises or answer everything. This isn't a job. This is for pleasure and for fun, I would hope. So do the exercises as you see fit and as you have time for them. If you don't want to do exercises, or you simply want to come along for the ride and watch what other people are saying, you're welcome to do that. And you're more than welcome to just simply do an occasional exercise and to pop into the chat rooms when you wish. It's all really up to you. I'd suggest that since you've paid for the course, you should take advantage of every opportunity to use the course, but it's really up to you, and really no one thinks worse of you if you don't do an exercise here or there. But do try to do them, and I will be replying to every exercise you write. Now, we'll have a Monday. I'll post all the course on Monday morning, hopefully before noon, barring technical difficulties which have occurred. You'll have a few days to reply to the exercises, to post the talking points on the discussion forums, and for every exercise you post, I will reply to each of you once. I won't get engaged in long discussions about every single exercise and go back and forth over revisions and so forth, but I will reply to each one of you. I'm going to suggest that all of you try to read my replies to each other. So don't simply read the replies I send to you, but look in on the points I've raised with other writers and other students, and feel free to raise your own points along the way about what you see your fellow students writing. Try to be very positive. It's hard online. Try to point out the strengths of each other's work as much as possible, as well as the weaknesses. And we'll talk more about that next week when we discuss the workshopping methods. Now, we'll do the exercises during the week, and on Thursday at 7 o'clock, we're going to have a half-hour chat session. Liz has showed you how to access the chat room. This week, we're going to have a virtual cocktail party. So the point is for you to come at 7 o'clock with a virtual drink. It can be as virtual or as non-virtual as you would like to make it. But try to come at 7 o'clock. Again, there's no problem if you can't make it. Many people have work, or many people don't get home in time. But try to come at 7. I'll stay on till 8 o'clock. And we can all get used to talking to each other on the forums. Those can be fun, or the chat sessions. The chat sessions are really more of an informal get-together. We can't do a lot of teaching on the chat sessions. They're simply to ask questions, or to reply to questions, or to get to know each other. And we'll try to meet every week from 7 to 7:30, and I'm going to encourage you all to meet whenever you wish. The chat sessions are a great place for you to get to know each other and to share and to commiserate and the pleasures and joys of writing novels, which are many. There are many joys and many unpleasant aspects of writing novels at home by yourself. We'll talk about that. So we'll have a Thursday chat session, and every Friday I'll post a wrap-up, a Friday night report about how the week went, and what points we raised, and what discussion issues came up, and what maybe we learned, and sometimes what I've learned about the course on Friday evening. That will close the class off. You are free to do your work on the weekend if you wish. You can do the work over the weekend, and I will, again, reply to everybody's exercises at least once. So if you come in late and you can't get it until Saturday or Sunday, that's fine, and I will reply to each one of you once for your exercises. So don't worry about that. But ideally, I'm just doing this so we have one work week. We know when the due material comes up, and we know when the week's work is over. Okay, now I want to say a couple of things. There's a number of things you'll learn about how to use the online course, as I've learned over the past few months. And I think most of them they're in your own time. You can do your work when you feel like it. I'm going to encourage you to write every day. I will talk about this all term. You must write and work on your novels every day. We'll talk a lot about that. But one of the opportunities you'll have in this course is not only will I be able to give you one-on-one replies to every exercise you post, but each of you will be allowed to post at least 2 substantial sections of a novel, roughly 1,500 to 1,700 words each, and get detailed replies from me and from your fellow students. Perhaps you may have 3 shots at this workshop, but we don't. If we can squeeze in a 3rd workshop for everyone, we will do that. This means I'm going to ask all of you to start thinking about who wants to go first. We're going to try to start the workshops next week. So I'll post an announcement about this as well. But think about it, and if you would like to be first in the queue and you want to go next week, we're going to do 1 or 2 people next week and start the workshopping off, and I'll give some instructions on how to run the workshop. So this is a great opportunity, I think, for the students. And if I teach a course in class at City Lit, everyone cannot bring in 2 substantial pieces. We just don't have time. And that's the purpose of the online courses, is to give everyone a lot more time with the instructor and with each other, and to be able to bring in more work. Okay, now we're going to have, the other thing I'm excited about is we did this last year, is we brought in guest writers. And we have 2 very substantial and interesting and excellent guest novelists this term who've already agreed to do the course. And I'm thrilled about it, but I'll announce them as we go along. And they will come and give readings, and they will answer your questions, and they will come to the discussion forums, and they will even come to the chat session that week. So keep an eye out, and I'll be announcing our guests over the next few weeks. Now, I think I've told you everything I wanted to talk about today. The main thing is try to enjoy the course, try not to be daunted by all these different discussion forums. If I give you an exercise, as this week I did, I asked you to tell the novel story of your life in under 100 words. These are called limitation exercises. A friend of mine calls them limitation exercises. This means don't write me 350 words. If I say write 1 paragraph, don't write 10 paragraphs. One of the purposes of this course is to try to teach you how to do a lot in a little space. And being able to tell the life story of somebody in 100 words is something every novelist needs to learn how to do. So pay attention to the limitations in every exercise I give you. And this week, we'd like to hear the story of your life in 100 words or less. And you can do that any way you like, and I'll try to show you some techniques of narrative fiction in my replies. Don't worry about getting exercises right. Don't try to worry about if you muck up or make a mistake or you look foolish. Don't worry. That's what writers do. We write wonderfully one day, we write terribly the next day, and you probably don't know when you're writing well or not. So just have fun. And when I review your work or I try to reply to it, I won't be trying to say if it's good or bad or anything like that. I'll basically just simply be using it as an opportunity to discuss techniques and ways of improving prose and show where strengths lie in your work for each other. And we'll talk about that next week as well. Okay, so I think that's all I have to say to you this week. But I look forward to meeting you on Thursday. I'll be there at 7 o'clock. I'm going to bring a virtual martini. My plan is it may even be a real martini at 7 o'clock. It depends on where I am. And we can all chat a bit and get to know each other. Again, that's not the real instruction of the course. The instruction will be the daily work and exchanges we have through the forums. But I hope we have a good time. We had a great time last year, and I'm really looking forward to this year. And your first reading assignment is to read those first few pages of Graham Greene's A Gun for Sale. You can learn everything you need to learn about writing novels from Graham Greene. He's one of the best. And just look at this, not for what you don't like. Look at it very closely for what are techniques of novel writing that work, that you need to learn. I'm going to really focus on not being critics in this class, but to read works and try to find what works for you. What can you use when you write your novel? That's how most novelists and fiction writers work. We go around, we watch each other, we see learn the tricks of the trade, and we apply them in our work. So you're not a critic anymore. Don't read the passages and say, oh, I didn't like this or I didn't like that. Find some techniques in there that you're going to use in one of your novels in the future. Okay, and we'll talk more about the actual nuts and bolts of writing novels next week. Just get used to the forum, and I'll talk to you all. Hope I talk to you on Thursday, and if you're not there, just drop us a note, and we'll say hi to each other, and maybe you'll make one of the other Thursdays. Take care. Bye.